Welcome back. So Rivers politics is still very much in our line of vision as we head into 2027. What would be the outcome of the interests of the political gladiators? Would there be unity ahead of the contest that now seems inevitable, and will they present one candidate, or are we going to see that age-long war between political godfather and godson play out in the eventual production of one candidate? And who would that candidate be? Let's dive into it this morning. And joining us on the program for thoughts on this is Mr. Chibuike Ikenga. He's the Rivers APC Publicity Secretary who joins us virtually this morning. Good morning, Mr. Ikenga. Welcome to the Morning Brief.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's get right into it. What we saw over the weekend was a bit confusing, although papers are now clarifying that indeed the governor was screened. But he didn't address the press, and I didn't look too happy, according to reports, when he came out of the screening. And some would say that customarily, when a governor comes out of the screening and his colleagues had been screened the day before, you know, that stakeholders would come escorting the governor out of the screening area. So he came out alone, and his comment was no comment. So was he screened successfully or not?
Well, thank you for having me once again. Our responsibility, that question should go directly to the National Screening Committee of the governors, because it was split into two, of the serving governors or returning governors, as the case may be, and of those who are coming on stream new. So that question should go to them, whether he was screened or he was not screened.
So from where you stand as a stakeholder in the APC in Rivers State, what are the implications of him coming out and not looking happy or interacting with the press? Has it got anything to do with the realization that his political godfather may be sponsoring, you know, another aspirant?
Well, we cannot sit here and hazard guesses as to what transpired at the screening, quote and unquote. Firstly, it's not a party precondition that once you are out of the screening room or office that you must, M-U-S-T, in capital letters, that you must address the press immediately. And if there's anything to that, I think that the governor's spokesperson should be in a position to stating that clearly. But for us as a party, we have our party guiding principles, laws, the Constitution, and as well as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act. So if the governor did not fall short of the provisions of these laws, I think that it shouldn't be an issue.
Let's break it down. How many people bought the form for governorship in Rivers State? So put the record straight again for all of us. The governor had the form. I think that's Alabo George Kelly, former commissioner for works. So we also had Kingsley Chinda also got the form. So confirm for us whether this is correct.
Well, we have been hearing of those who procured forms. Forms are not bought at the state level; they were bought at the national level. But we have heard that the governor bought form. Toyeko bought forms.
Yeah.
We also had Dash Kelly bought form, Alamo Kelly bought form, and then Kingsley Chinda. That's what we are hearing, but we have not gotten directives, gotten clearer pictures from the national leadership of the party, and until that happens, we can speak authoritatively.
It's very concerning, Mr. Ikenga, for me that you're speaking like this with greatest respect. You're the national publicity of the party in a state like Rivers, and you're not aware, and you're telling me and all of us, you heard. So who do we now ask the question?
I told you, Jeffrey, clearly, I said, if you want to know those who bought forms in Rivers State, that forms are not bought from Rivers State.
I am aware.
I said,
I am aware of where forms are bought. So you should know that I'm aware of where forms are bought. I'm saying, you giving me the nuance of you heard. You should know on good authority.
No, I told you. I mentioned names here of likely people who bought the funds, but we need proper clarification to say we have 4, 5, 6 persons from the national. That's what I'm saying.
All right, let's come back to what is going on in Rivers State. Apparently, things, all is not well with your party in Rivers State. This is the nuance I'm getting from you. You can debate it, disagree with it, but let's talk about what the plan is. Is the plan to get a consensus candidate or to eventually hit the polls and decide who is the popular candidate here for your party? What is the big picture as state level to say, how do we, given the history of this particular leadership under Fubara has been chaotic. One chaos or the other. Historically, I've never seen a governor being attempted to be impeached 3 times, and the House of Assembly changing their mind 3 times. A state of emergency. I can go on with all the things you and I are quite familiar with. And nobody wants another set of crises. So what is the big conversation, just like we see in other states? Is it that the states, the governorship seat, there's a strong conversation to see how you can rally around one person, or eventually just let everybody go and test their popularity?
Thank you, Jeff. I know that your view that my party is not well in Rivers State is your personal opinion that does not reflect the reality here. The reality here is that there's no chaos, there's no crisis, there's no violence. Everyone, every participant, gladiator, members of our party are playing according to the rules of the party. And then, you know, democracy encourages participation. And then at the level we are, everybody is at liberty to show interest, to aspire to whatever position he or she does choose to. So at this level, it's about interest. It's an interest pursuit. It's about interest, interest aggregation. That's what we are going on. That's what's going on in our party now. So it's expected. There is no crisis. All we will do, we play according to the provisions of the Constitution. We did say that for us to have candidates of the party, we must use, and the Electoral Act as amended as well, that we must use 2 processes. One, consensus, and where consensus does not come to fruition, then we should revert to direct primaries.
Interesting.
Well, Mr. Kenga, the next few weeks and months will be really very interesting for you and your party, because one would have thought that since the governor defected to the APC, he should be celebrated, and then, you know, it should make things easier for the APC in your state to just, you know, go on and just win the elections easily. But I mean, Rivers State is always very unique. So that's why it got a lot of journalists speculating exactly what would have played out in that screening. I know that Mr. Fubara has this relationship with the national secretary as well, Ajibola Bashiru, who has always sort of defended him. So perhaps maybe that confirms why there are reports that the governor was only asked to take a bow and leave. Is that what you heard as well?
Well, you will also know that we have not seen, except I stand to be corrected, we haven't seen anywhere any governor in a video was asked to bow and leave, particularly serving governors. And if that happened, we should be able to now do a comparative analysis as to whether Governor Fubara of Rivers State was asked to do so or was not. So as we speak, we do not know whether the governor, serving or returning governors were asked to bow and go. If that was done, it could have been extended to the governor as well. But I speak authoritatively that we are not aware of what transpired at the screening of returning governors and even new aspirants. So we can't speak authoritatively. We're only at the level of making conjectures and then speculations.
So he's coming to the APC, his defection to the APC. I know it's been months now, but do you think it has done your party more good?
Why not? Having the caliber of a governor entering our party that Ab initio didn't have a governor, it's a plus to our party.
So does this stand a chance? Because just last week, his mentor, his predecessor, said, "You know what? I'm here. I've not anointed any candidate just yet, even though we know where he has his hands in or who he's supporting. But So do you think he stands a chance? Does he have what it takes to get victory for the APC, your party, at the polls?
Well, that decision will ultimately be made by the gladiators and members of the party. And
which you are one of them, Mr. Kenga.
Governor Fubara,
Mr. Kenga, you're one of the gladiators.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I do agree with you. I'm saying the gladiators, the supporters, the leadership at all levels will make that decision ultimately. And as to whether it will fall on Governor Fubara as the candidate or any other person, we will inform you accordingly.
Mm. Okay, I just maybe one final question, because the reason why the APC is opting for a consensus candidate is that, you know, you're trying to bring everyone or give everyone a level playing field, a level playing ground. People have, you know, boasted and bragged that the APC is the party that, you know, practices internal democracy and holds it really very dear to her heart. But it does appear that at the end of the day, there are going to be some aspirants who will be perhaps angry at this process, because if we've seen about 4 or 5 persons who have picked the nomination forms, I'm just wondering perhaps how you intend to handle that, those persons who may perhaps feel aggrieved if perhaps the governor, you know, has that edge and he does pick the ticket.
Well, the constitution of our party has already made provisions for how conciliation and then putting the party together after even a very tedious and troublesome primaries have been undertaken. So we explore the provisions of our party constitution to ensure that we return to equilibrium and put everybody online to defeating the opposition parties in the various states.
So news is also coming through that the screening committee has disqualified some of Governor Fubara's supposed allies from contesting the Rivers State House of Assembly primaries. And the names that we're hearing include Honorable Chijioke Ihonwo, Victor Okojumbo, Sukari Goodboy, Timothy Orubi Banua. These 3 lawmakers are reportedly loyal to Governor Fubara. Are you aware of this as well, or you are not aware of this?
No, I am fully on the know of this. In fact, I made a press release yesterday putting that the information you are putting across probably was elicited from my press release for the party yesterday, where we did inform the public that from the report of the House of Assembly Screening Committee that some persons were disqualified. I do not know. They are from Rivers State. They were 98 in number. So I do not know how three persons you just read out of 98 will really make a lot of news. But quite a lot of people were qualified and some too were disqualified.
So how come you're aware of this, but you're not aware if the governor was successfully screened or not?
I am aware of this because I was at the state party secretariat with the screening committee from the very first day they came until they finished. I was there, so I can speak authoritatively on this. But I was not in Abuja to know. All that I have heard are things, you know, stories that I've heard from people, stories I've heard from the social media and even the conventional media like you. Yesterday, I was hearing that the governor was actually stormed out of the screening committee. Please, I'm not aware of those, and I can't make news with them because I'm not sure. I haven't heard directly from those who participated.
Well, I would have thought that you would know, since it's the same political party, and so news will filter in about what has happened or not, and it's something that you should be concerned about. But let's move forward and look at the other aspirants that were screened for the office of governor. Honorable Kingsley Chinda, Mr. George Kelly Alabo, who were also screened for the governorship. What are your thoughts, and Mr. Tonyakul, what are your thoughts specifically about Chinda and Alabo for the office of governor in Rivers State? What are your thoughts about their eligibility, their credibility?
Well, once again, I would like to say that all the information at my disposal as to what transpired at the governorship screening committee are at the level of hearsays, and we can't make news with such until a participant at that place informs me I was there, these and these and these and these happened. Then I can run with that. But as we speak, I cannot make any news out of them. But for Rivers State House Assembly Screening Committee, I was part of it. I followed from the onset until they finished, so I can speak authoritatively on that. Like I did say that I've already released a statement on behalf of the party as to the report of that committee. Be that as it may, I want to tell you that all those whom we have heard bought forms, the party will consider them on their own merits and then take a decision as to who flies the flag of the party, and then we move to defeat the opposition party.
All right.
Parties, as the case may be.
But you're aware of these individuals. You're aware of their competence, their service to the party. You surely can speak about how capable they are for the office of governor.
I know them. In fact, all of them are my friends. I can assure you that. But that does not matter at this stage. It is the decision of the party that will stand.
Are you shying away from commenting on their competence because you are loyal to a particular party in the ongoing Rivers dispute?
You don't understand. I'm an APC member. I'm loyal to my party. Right. And whatever decision, my own personal interests. By the way, who also told you that I wouldn't have been able to buy from to contest an election? But I will take it step by step.
Yes, I was wondering why you didn't get a form. But I'll leave your aspirations. Since you didn't buy, I will not invest. I will not ask you questions.
No problem.
You chose to stay as a member. But it's curious. Is it a coincidence? Correct me if I'm wrong. That I know you've said about a couple of other persons have been disqualified or have not been cleared. That's the right word to use by the screening committee. But we know Chijioke is a strong supporter. Okojomba at some point sat as speaker of their own faction, and then Goodboy was in support, and then other persons. Is it a coincidence that somehow these very strong loyalists couldn't make it through clearance? And is there any person that is loyal to Nyesom Wike who is in the House of Assembly who aspires to go back, who was also not cleared? I mean, the 26 lawmakers, amongst them, I think they have PDP and APC, so let's stick with the ones that are in your party. Is there anyone that was not cleared?
Okay, thank you. I hope I can't see, but I'm sure it's Jeffrey's voice.
Yeah, it's my voice. You know my voice.
Yes, and I do know you. I do know your feelings, your soft spots, and I see
No. Forget about feelings and soft. It's inconsequential. Just hold on. I'm a journalist. I'll ask my question as they are. I said, is it a coincidence? It's not about feelings that the loyalists to the governor did not make it through clearance, and those of them who are loyal to Nyesom Wike all made it through the clearance. And I said, put it on record, is there anyone that is loyal to Nyesom Wike that did not also get cleared? So forget about feelings. It's about question and answer.
A member of the APC. I'm aware of that. He's not a member of the APC. Those who are in the House of Assembly, remember, usually, there's an opportunity for them to try to showcase what they are. But at this moment, we have not taken decisions as to who will return and who will not return. Not clearing them, the people that are not cleared, I told you, there are about 98 persons. And those 98 persons, all of them were not cleared. So some were cleared, some were not cleared. So the details as to why they are cleared or uncleared are strictly the prerogative of the committee, which they will, when they do their submission to the national leadership of the party, state them. So they have their reasons why they clear them, and then it doesn't matter whether some persons who are loyal to the governor or who are loyal to our own team, did scale through or did not scale through at this stage.
I wanted to, I don't know whether you asked because there was a distortion in the network at some point. The persons, I'm not mincing words. Loyalty in the House of Assembly is either for the governor or for Nyesom Wike. You can debate the rest. I'm saying, is there anybody who is loyal to Nyesom Wike, who is a member of the APC that was not successfully cleared? It's just a question.
You have the information, you know all of them. So read through our press release and you'll be able to get information.
Okay, that's you being dodgy because you say you sat down, you know
Because
everything else.
I don't have the 98 people offered now to mention their names, those who are clear and those who are not clear. The 98 people, they are large enough. So except you take a specific person and then I can address on that.
Oh, but you wrote the press release, Mr. Kenga. So you should be able to remember
yes,
at least 5 names, if you can't remember all 98.
I said 98 of them. It's so weirdly for me to mention one after the other, 98.
We're not asking you to mention 98. Mention 5. You can mention 5 and tell us whether or not they're loyal to former governor and minister Nyesom Wike and why they're cleared and the others were not cleared. It's a simple question, sir.
Okay, my response to you is this. They are all members of our party. Those who were uncleared, there are reasons. Those who are not, those who were cleared, there are reasons. And when we would not want this division, profound division, and then continually enlarging and deepening it, all we want is that we're one party in Rivers State. The governor is there as a member of our party and others. So if you don't win today, you can win tomorrow. If you don't get clear today, you can be clear tomorrow. So we need more of peace building and putting the house together than continually in the division and crisis. And then if anybody was not clear, then it means that you're disliked or because you're from one group or the other. No, but ultimately we're all members of the same party. That's why you're seeing me address matters like this.
All right, Mr. Kenga, in all of this, what is essential to me is governance and the people. Are you and the other gladiators, are you doing this with the interest of the people at heart? Or is the fact that you and your colleagues, you guys have a way of sitting down and making decisions for your own personal interest? Because I'm wondering exactly what is the state of governance in Rivers State for the last 4 years. Jeff said it's been chaotic. The rest, they say it's history. I'm just wondering exactly how all of this, is for the average Rivers person who comes from the Niger Delta region, who expects that they should live in a particular way. And I'm sure that perhaps not the case.
Okay, thank you. Unfortunately, we could have done that, but crisis came, and then the development of the state was slowed, and it became chaotic here. But ultimately, what's the raising data of being in politics? The raising data is for good governance in our state. That's what we had always pursued. We pursue good governance, which will include proper delivery of projects and services timelessly. And then accountability, transparency, and all that. These are some of the things that our party and the government here ought to.
That being the case,
but we had crisis, and that crisis has been put behind us now, and then we are trying to recalibrate for greater performances.
Because I'm going to ask you if that has been the case since the governor defected to your party.
That had been the case from the day elections are planned and pursued, and then victory is gained. So it's about development of our state. Like I did say, unfortunately, we had some challenges in the past which we are trying to overcome, and then focus on delivery of goods and services to the Rivers people who actually need them.
So governance and politics, which has taken center stage more in Rivers State?
If you listen to me properly, I said our essence is to pursue good governance for the people, but unfortunately we had challenges along the line which had interrupted our delivery. And I said that we have come back, we are settling, we are trying to ensure that we do better than we did before. We could have done better, like I said, but it is what it is.
As we wind down now, Mr. Kenga, I'd like to ask you a very simple question. Who's the leader of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State?
The leader of the party is known by the constitution of the party. But circumstances could throw a collegiate leadership. So what we have in Rivers State is a collegiate leadership.
Made up of...
Because at this level, I'm coming, allow me, at this level, we are in coalition with a whole number of political parties. And then that somehow does not allow us to really follow our party alone, because the interests of other parties are intertwined with us. So the leadership is done by the party, and then the leadership of the party, and then we do move on.
Indeed, I was hoping you would tell us the members of this collegiate leadership, but clearly we're going to just have to
if you want, I'll tell you.
On the show.
If you want, I'll tell you.
You want to mention names in 5 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The governor is there.
Okay. Who else is there?
Our PDP leaders are there, who are part of the coalition.
PDP leaders are part of
ADC. Our ADC leaders are there, who are part of the coalition.
Very smart there, Mr. Kenga.
Mr. Kenga, give us names.
PDP leaders are part of the APC coalition, APC leadership in River State. Thank you so much. Mr. Chibuike Ikenga is the All Progressives Congress Publicity Secretary in River State. Thank you for coming through on this conversation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
But
I appreciate it.
There's more politics ahead, and Jeffrey has this one.
Well, are we going to take a break, or we just go straight to the conversation? I guess we'll get straight and come back after this break. We'll be right back.